Hello students, today I am here with chapter 3rd from your book First Flight, and the name of the chapter is Two Stories About Flying. So this chapter has two stories as it is clear by the name. So these two stories are, first one is His First Flight written by Liam Flaherty, and the second one is Black Aeroplane and written by Frederick Fawcett. Okay, so now we'll see what's there in the chapter. Before you read, we can see here that since the earliest times, humans have dreamt of conquering the skies. Here are two stories about flying. So first one is a young seagull is afraid to fly. How does he conquer his fear? So seagull is a kind of bird and they live near the sea. ये sea के पास रहते हैं. And young seagull means वो छोटा seagull था, baby seagull था. And the second story is a pilot is lost in storm clouds. Does he arrive safe? And who helps him? So these two questions we have in our mind before reading the story. So now we'll find out what's there. So first story, his first flight. Okay, so now as I told you earlier that there was a young seagull and he was all alone on his ledge. Ledge we can see here in this picture that this is ledge. Okay, and the young seagull was sitting here. You can see the image. Okay. So a young seagull, a baby seagull was sitting alone on his ledge, and he was looking at his two brothers and his sister, and they were already flown away the day before. Means वो पहले दिन ही उड़ना सीख गए थे. But what's the problem with that young seagull? He had been afraid to fly with them. He had feared to fly, and he was not able to fly. He was not able to flap his wings. He always failed whenever he tried. Okay, so when he wanted to see down, when he saw down, he saw the sea. It was very deep, and that's why it was the reason of his fear. He felt that certainly my wings will never support me to fly. This was the things in his mind. That's why he was unable to fly. Okay, so each of his brothers and his little sister also, whose wings were far shorter than his own. उसके पंखों से छोटे थे उनके जो wings थे, but even then they ran to the brink, flapped their wings and they flew away. Means वो उड़ रहे थे, but he failed to muster up courage to take the plunge which appeared to him so desperate, but he was fail to fly. Okay, his father and mother had come around scolding him. Okay, they were shouting on him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away, that tum yahi raho, we will not give you something to food to eat. Okay, we will not give you anything, you just be here, don't fly and live here, starve here, bhooke raho tum. But for the life of him, he could not move. But even then, he was unable to move and he was unable to fly. देखो उड़ना तो जरूरी था उसके लिए ना, because birds हैं तो उड़ेंगे ही obviously, but he was afraid of. That's why his parents were not happy with him. So that was 24 hours ago. तो एक दिन हो गया था, 24 hours हो चुके थे उस बात को, and since then nobody had come near him. No one was talking to him because the day before, yesterday means the previous day, all day long he had watched his parents were teaching his brothers and sisters the way of flying, art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish, कि किस तरह sea में dive लगानी है fish लेने के लिए. All these things his parents were teaching to the children, not to him. Okay. He had in fact seen his older brother, and his older brother caught his first herring. Herring here is a kind of fish, okay, which is found in sea. Okay, so means his elder brother caught his first herring and he was standing on a rock and his parents were very happy. Dekho, we are students, suppose we are students and we are bringing a medal for scoring good marks, for good ranking, so our parents will be happy obviously. That's why it was same with His brother also, his parents were very happy when he caught his first herring. Okay, and they all circled around, raising a proud cackle. They were shouting in proud. And all morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. उसके ब्रदर की तो बहुत ज़्यादा तारीफें हो रही थी, बट उसको सब टॉन्ट कर रहे थे क्योंकि तुम तो उड़ ही नहीं सकते हो. See, your elder brother is doing what? He's, bringing his herring, and what you are doing, you are unable to fly. Okay, these things he was listening. So the sun was now ascending the sky. The sun was on the head. It was, shining very brightly. Okay. So he felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. तो एक दिन से उसने कुछ खाया नहीं था. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge. वो धीरे धीरे से ledge के brink पे means किनारे पर आता है, and standing on one leg. He was a young seagull, and young babies, how they react when no one is paying attention to them. वो क्या करते हैं attention पाने के लिए? कुछ ड्रामा करते हैं. So he was doing the same. Okay. So he was standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing. So he hid his leg under his wing. होता है ना ऐसे एक टांग पे खड़े हो जाते हैं, and one leg under his wing. So he closed one eye, then the other. And what he was doing actually? He was pretending to be falling asleep कि मुझे तो नींद आ रही है ऐसे कुछ, because he wanted to get attention. Still, his parents, his brothers and his sister, still they took no notice of him. Even then, they did not pay attention. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. कि वे तो सब सो रहे थे, his brothers and sister also. And what his father was doing? His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Preening is a process which birds do, like देखा होगा आपने कभी अपनी बीक से वो अपने पंखों को साफ करते रहते हैं, क्लीन करते रहते हैं, प्रीन करते रहते हैं. दैट इज ओके, मेंटेन करते रहते हैं अपने फेदर्स को. सो हिज फादर वाज डूइंग द सेम, एंड ओनली हिज मदर वाज लुकिंग एट हिम. यू नो द मदर्स. ओके, कुछ भी हो जाता है, सब एंग्री हो सकते हैं, बट नेवर अ मदर्स. ओके, सो ओनली हिज मदर वाज लुकिंग एट हिम. शी वाज स्टैंडिंग ऑन अ लिटिल high hump on the plateau. She was standing there, and she was feeling love for him. And she tore what she was having in her mouth. She tore a piece of fish, and she was trying to eat that with her beak. And that sight of the food, OMG, now the sight of the food maddened the young seagull, because how he loved to tear food that way, because उसको बहुत पसंद था इस तरह से फूड को टेयर करके खाना. You have seen birds कभी भी एक साथ नहीं खा सकते किसी भी चीज़ को. फिश है, मान लो सपोज there's a fish, तो वो छोटा छोटा उसको टेयर करके खाते हैं. So the mother was doing like that, and this sight maddened the young seagull, because he loved to do that, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. अब उसको अपनी पहले चोंच को थोड़ा सा शार्प करते हैं, वेट करते हैं, उसके बाद वो उसको टेयर करते हैं फूड को, उसके बाद खाते हैं. So he loved this process. So now he cried, ga ga ga, begging her to bring him some food. He was begging her mother that please bring me some food, mama. Ga call us. She screamed back. ओके, वो चिल्लाई वापस कि नहीं नो, आई मतलब इन द लैंग्वेज ऑफ बर्ड्स. ओके, बट ही कैप्ट कॉलिंग प्लेंटिवली, लेकिन वो फिर भी बोलता रहा. एंड आफ्टर अ मिनट और सो ही अटर्ड अ जॉयफुल स्क्रीम. फिर वो खुशी से चिल्लाता है. हिज मदर हैड पिक्ड अप अ पीस ऑफ द फिश. क्यों चिल्लाता है वो जॉयफुली? बिकॉज हिज मदर हैड पिक्ड अप अ पीस ऑफ द फिश एंड वॉज फ्लाइंग अक्रॉस टू हिम, बिकॉज हिज मदर वॉज कमिंग टू हिम विद अ पीस ऑफ द फिश इन हर माउथ. Okay, and he leaned out eagerly. He was too eager to eat that fish. वो आगे झुकता है, tapping the rock with his feet. अपने feet से rock को tap कर रहा है, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. और जब उसकी मम्मा उसके पास आती हैं, she came near, तो young seagull was trying to get nearer to her. उनके पास जाने का और कोशिश कर रहा था. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. But when she was near to him, quite just opposite, उसके बिल्कुल सामने आ गई, she halted, she stopped, वो रुक गई. Her wings motionless, मीन्स उनके जो विंग्स थे उसकी मदर के, मोशनलेस, उनमें कोई मोशन नहीं था, बिकॉज शी स्टॉप्ड द पीस ऑफ फिश इन हर बीक ऑलमोस्ट विद इन रीच ऑफ हिज बीक, कि जहाँ पे वेर एवर his mother was and wherever his beak beak was, जहाँ पे वो fish थी, so it was almost within reach of young seagull, कि यहाँ वहाँ तक young seagull पहुँच सकता था, अपनी beak को पहुँचा सकता था fish को लेने के लिए. But he waited a moment in surprise. But he was in surprise that why my mother is not coming to me, why she did not come nearer. And then, maddened by hunger, because he was quite hungry, he dived at the fish. और वो नीचे झुक के उसने dive लगा दी fish पर, because he was too hungry. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. लेकिन नीचे तो sea था, as you know very well. ठीक है, तो जैसे ही उसने dive लगाई, he screamed and he fell outwards, downwards, कभी नीचे कभी ऊपर, into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. मतलब टू हिज सरप्राइज, अरे ये मैं कहाँ आ गया. ही कुड हियर नथिंग, बट उसको अब किसी भी चीज़ की आवाज़ आ नहीं रही थी. बट इट ओनली लास्टेड अ मिनट. लेकिन बस ये जो डर था ये सिर्फ 1 मिनट के लिए था. इट लास्टेड फॉर अ मिनट ओनली. सो द नेक्स्ट मोमेंट ही फेल्ट हिज विंग्स स्प्रेड आउटवर्ड्स. अब उसके फैल चुके थे पंख. देखो बेटा क्या होता है, ये बॉडी ही ऐसी बनी होती है बर्ड्स की कि व्हेन दे ट्राई टू फ्लाई दे कैन फ्लाई. ओके, सो व्हेन ही वाज आउट देयर he was able to fly. Okay, and where we were, so he spread his wings outwards and the wind rushed against his breast feathers. Okay, उसके पंखों में हवा भर जाती है तो इसलिए वो उड़ने के लिए एबल हो चुका था. Then under his stomach and against his wings he could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. अब वो फील कर रहा था कि now I'm cutting the air, my wings are cutting the air and I'm going forward. So he just felt a bit dizzy. उसको थोड़ा dizzy होने लगा, dizziness. Okay, क्योंकि वो first time, it was his first flight. Okay, और उसने कुछ खाया भी नहीं था. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. अब फिर से अपने wings उसने flap किए और फिर से वो गाने लगा गा 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 कोला. Okay, his mother swooped past him. उसकी मम्मा भी उसके पीछे पीछे उड़ती हैं. Her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. तो अब वो मोटिवेट कर रही थी उसकी मदर उसको कि now my baby is flying. So she was flying with him and she was motivating him with a loud noise. Okay, with a scream. Then his father also flew over him screaming. उसके पापा भी पूरे enjoy में, पूरे excitement में उसके साथ उड़ रहे थे. And he saw his 2 brothers and his sister flying around him. उसके साथ उड़ रहे थे सब लोग. Now they all were motivating him. Then he completely forget that he had not always been able to fly. अब वो भूल चुका था, अरे it was the time when I was not able to fly, but now he was able. Okay, so now he was near the sea, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. Green sea क्यों बोला है बताओ? सी का कलर ग्रीन नहीं होता है because there were plants near the sea on the shore. That's why the water was looking green with little ridges moving over it, and it turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. तो अब वो सब लैंड हो जाते हैं उस ग्रीन सी में. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. वो चिल्ला चिल्ला कर उसको बुला रहे थे. He dropped his leg to stand on the green sea. अब उसने अपने जो पैर थे, उसने जो legs थे, okay, he dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. अब वो green sea के ऊपर खड़ा होने के लिए उसने अपने पैर टिका दिए. But his legs sank into it. लेकिन उसके जो legs थे वो उसमें नीचे चले गए, डूब गए. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. And he tried to flap his wings again. But this time, he was tired and weak with hunger because he did not eat anything. That's why he could not rise. That's why he was unable to come upside. Exhausted bhi tha by the strange exercise because it was the very first time. So his feet sank into the green sea. उसके जो feet होते हैं sank हो जाते हैं, डूब जाते हैं. And then his belly touched it. तब उसका अब जब leg sink हो गए उसके बाद belly का turn आता है, stomach. Okay, हमारी tummy का turn आता है. And when his belly touched the water, touched the sea, and he sank no farther. तो अब वो नहीं डूबा. Why? Because आपने साइंस में पढ़ा होगा खैर ये लॉजिक तो, बट जो बॉडी होती है बर्ड्स की, इट इज़ हॉलो, इट इज़ फिल्ड विद एयर, एयर से भरी होती है. सो इट वर्क्स लाइक अ एयर ट्यूब जो होती है जब हम स्विम करने जाते हैं, स्विमिंग के लिए करते हैं, तो समटाइम्स बच्चों को ट्यूब दे दी जाती है जो एयर से भरी होती है, उसकी वजह से डूबते नहीं हैं. सो देयर बॉडी वर्क लाइक दैट. बर्ड्स की जो बॉडी होती है इट वर्क्स लाइक दैट. So now he was floating on it. अब वो तैर रहा था, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dog fish. अब वो उसको खाने को भी dog fish दे रहे थे. They were offering him. So he had made his first flight. It was the chapter which named first flight. So his first flight was very successful, as you can see. Okay, so this was the first part. So it is the second part of the same chapter, 2 stories about flying, and this part is the black aeroplane. Okay, so this part is in autobiographical way. The narrator is a pilot. Okay, so now we will see that what the pilot is telling, what the pilot is narrating here. So he is telling his story that one night what happened with him when he was traveling in his aeroplane to England. Okay, so the moon was coming up in the east behind me. So the moon was behind the pilot in the east. So the direction was in front of him was west. Okay, and the stars were shining in the clear sky above the pilot. And there was not a cloud in the sky, means it was all clear. It was a starry night. And he is saying that I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. That I was feeling very happy that I was all alone above the sleeping countryside, because all the people in the country were sleeping and I was flying alone. Okay. So where the pilot was going and from where. So I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane. It was the name of his aeroplane. Old Dakota, Dakota aeroplane was the name. Over France back to England. So वो फ्रांस के ऊपर अपना एरोप्लेन उड़ा रहा था. इस टाइम वो जो जिस कंट्री के ऊपर था वो था फ्रांस के ऊपर. And back to England. So where he was moving to? He was moving to England. I was dreaming of my holiday. He was going on a holiday and looking forward to being with my family. So now he was thinking about a holiday and his family. You know, we feel it when we work somewhere else and when we go to a family, we feel homesickness. कि बस अब हम अपनी family के पास जा रहे हैं. We will do this, we will do that, like that. Okay. So I looked at my watch and 1:30 in the morning. So it was 1:30 in the morning means रात का time था. In the morning बोलेंगे 1:30 को, because it is after 12. So I should call Paris control soon, I thought. So the pilot thought that he should call Paris control. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. Because वो उसने देखा कि लाइट्स थी एक सिटी के में लाइट जली हुई थी जब उसने देखा. So he thought that I should call Paris control soon and they will tell me the right way to travel. So I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota Ries 088 here. Can you hear me? I'm on my way to England. Over. You know, it is the way, आपने movies में भी देखा होगा, when one side, any person is done with saying, with his words, so he say over. The people say over. Okay. So from the other side, the voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS088 over. So उन्होंने क्या उसको बताया that it is better to turn 12 degrees west now. So I checked up the map and compass. There is compass also in the aeroplane so that they can they can find out the direction very well. Switched over to my second and last fuel tank. So he was short of fuel also. Last fuel tank बचा हुआ था उसके पास. And turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. अब उसने 12 degrees west में अपने aeroplane को कर लिया था. So now he was dreaming of being at home. I'll be in time for breakfast. That I'll be there at the time of breakfast, he thought. And a good English breakfast, a good big English breakfast, because he was going to England, so English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight, he is saying. So Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me. मतलब वो Paris से 150 kilometers आगे आ चुका था when I saw the clouds. And what happened? That he saw the clouds. Storm clouds, not normal clouds. Stormy clouds they were. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. And I knew I could not fly up and over them. कि उनको तो मैं cross कर ही नहीं पाऊंगा. And I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or the south कि ना तो north में और south में अगर मैं थोड़ा means दूसरे direction से निकल कर अगर मैं जाऊं तो I don't have enough fuel. So I ought to go back to Paris, he thought. What did he think that time? That I should go back to Paris. But I wanted to go home. But the feeling, the desire to be at home was, striking into his mind. And he said, no, I want to go back to Paris. I'm going to my home and I wanted that breakfast. So he thought that I'll take this risk. अब मैं इस risk को जरूर लूँगा. So and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. अब उसने storm में घुसा दिया वो Dakota aeroplane. So inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane because it was dark. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. अब वो old aeroplane जो था, it was jumping and twisting in the air. I looked at the compass. मतलब compass एक watch like thing होती है, वो direction बताता रहता है, safe direction, okay? So I could not believe, you can see here that in front of the pilot everything was black. Okay, so I could not believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. उसने भी काम करना बंद कर दिया. And it would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. And I tried the radio now. Paris control, can you hear me? And there was no answer from the other side. The radio was dead too. See how horrible situation. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. So I was lost in the storm. Totally lost. मतलब ना तो देखो उसके पास light थी, ना compass कि उसको direction का पता चल जाए कि where he is, and no radio. Then in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. When we are in some problem and if we see something or someone coming to us or near us, so it is a hope. एक hope होती है positivity की that हम अकेले नहीं हैं, someone is also here. So he saw another aeroplane and it had no lights on its wings. उसकी wings पर कोई भी lights नहीं थी, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. लेकिन उसके पास में था बिल्कुल, इसलिए he was able to see that aeroplane. And I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. So the pilot's face was towards the pilot. I was very glad. Now it is a relaxation kind of thing that I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. That he lifted his hand and waved means उसने बताया, he showed his reaction that I am here, don't worry. Follow me, he was saying. Follow me. So what he was saying by his hand, that follow me. He knows that I'm lost. I thought he's trying to help me. So what this pilot thought, that pilot knows that I'm lost here and that's why he's trying to help me. So he turned his aeroplane slowly to the north. उसने north direction में अपना aeroplane turn कर लिया. पहले वाले जो दूसरा aeroplane आया था उसके pilot ने in front of my Dakota के सामने लाके. So that it would be easier for me to follow him, because another pilot was saying to the first pilot that you have to follow me. That's why he turned his aeroplane in front of Dakota. It was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. So this pilot was thinking himself that I was behaving like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Means it has been half an hour almost. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. So now another thing that the fuel was about to be an end, क्योंकि सिर्फ 5 or 10 minutes के लिए ही चल सकता था. I was starting to feel frightened again कि अब क्या होगा. 5 or 10 minutes में तो कुछ भी नहीं हो पाएगा. But then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. लेकिन अब पहले वाले एरोप्लेन ने he started to go down and I followed. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. उसने दो बड़ी बड़ी लाइन देखी अपने सामने. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. So to his surprise, वो जो दो उसने lines देखी, straight lines, it was a runway. Runway means जहाँ से जो plane होते हैं take off करते हैं, land करते हैं. It was a runway. An airport means it was an airport and the pilot was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane. So मैं मुड़ा उसको देखने के लिए that who was the person who saved me. But the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. So he landed and he went near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. So he was confirming there that where I was because I was lost and I had no lights to find out that where I was. So I want to know that where I was and who was the second person. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. The woman looked at him very strangely. Another aeroplane. Up there in the storm. Is the storm में कोई दूसरा aeroplane? No other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. So radar is an instrument and the full form is radio detection and ranging. Means ये detect करता है जो दूर के जो objects होते हैं like aeroplane वगैरह जो होते हैं उनको detect कर सकता है कि where it was कि कहाँ था कहाँ है. Okay, so yours was the only one I could see on the radar कि मैंने तो radar पे सिर्फ एक ही plane देखा और वो आपका था. So, who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? This was the question raising into his mind that who was the person who helped me to be safe? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? So, it was a suspense then because there was no one according to the radar कोई भी नहीं था वहाँ पर. So now all these questions were coming into pilot's mind. Okay, so now the chapter ends here. Okay बच्चों, bye bye.